You don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait for the mood to come. You don't wait for life to give you space to begin. You just begin. Not because it's the right time, but because it's time. You're not behind. You're not late. You're just stuck in the habit of letting comfort speak first. But improvement doesn't ask how you feel. It just demands. And if you don't show up for it, it leaves you behind. Because the truth is simple. You either get stronger or softer. And only one of those is moving forward. So you force it, the action, the effort, the edge, until the mirror starts respecting you back. You want to grow, but there's one face that always gets in the way. Yours. Not because it hates you, but because it knows every excuse you've ever accepted. Every "I'll start tomorrow," every "it's just one day," every "no one's watching anyway." That face, it doesn't lie. It reflects. It shows you the version you keep returning to. Soft, comfortable, stuck. And the more you look, the more you realize this isn't about potential. It's about permission. And the only person you've been waiting on to approve your rise is you. So stop searching for motivation. Start confronting the only man who knows exactly why you're still the same. Not the world, not them. Just the one in the glass. You don't need to change everything. You just need to keep winning. Tiny, daily, without fail. Because small wins, they don't feel powerful, but they stack. One decision, one rep, one refusal to stay down. They build something the world can't see, but you feel it. In your walk, in your voice, in the way you carry your silence. The man who collects small wins becomes unstoppable. Not overnight, not loudly, but gradually, silently. And by the time they notice, you've already become the version of you they never saw coming, because you didn't shout for progress. You built it, one brick per day, without apology. Comfort feels good until it starts to rot you. It softens your edges, kills your urgency, convinces you that fine is enough. But fine doesn't build anything, so you pop it. The bubble, the warm routine, the safety that kept you small. Not because it's easy, but because staying inside feels worse now. You wake up earlier, train when it hurts, speak when it's awkward, not to prove something, but to remind yourself that you're not here to coast, you're here to carve. And carving requires friction, the kind that blisters, that burns, that leaves no room for softness. Comfort whispers, just rest a bit longer. But discipline, it kicks the door open and says, we're not staying here, you will fall. That's not a threat, it's a promise. No system, no mindset, no routine will protect you from failure. But falling isn't the problem, it's how you land, how you get back up, how fast you wipe the dust and move. Because the man who fears failing stops trying, but the one who expects it gets sharper every time. You don't fall like a victim, you fall like a warrior, with purpose, with control, with your eyes open. You don't panic, you pivot. And that shift, that's what separates boys from men. Not perfection, but the refusal to stay on the ground. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. And if your habits are weak, you will break even with strong intentions, so you build. Simple, brutal, non-negotiable. Wake, move, think, repeat. Not for show, not for praise, for stability. Because when life hits, it's not inspiration that saves you, it's routine. The reps you did when no one cared. The meals you prepped when no one watched. The journaling when your head was on fire. That's what holds the line. Not motivation. Pattern. Because once it's wired, you no longer decide, you just do. And in a world that keeps pausing, you keep going. It's not the world that's loud, it's you. The second guessing, the doubt, the fear dressed as logic. It talks constantly. And if you don't get control, it runs you. You train your body. You clean your space. You plan your day. But your mind still spins, still loops old failures, still replays what they said, still compares what you haven't done. That noise, it doesn't go away, but it can be drowned. with action, with focus, with presence. You don't argue with it, you outmove it. Because the mind gets quiet when the mission gets louder, and the more you move with purpose, the less you hear the things that once kept you still. Look too long at their path, and you forget your own. Their winds, their pace, their noise, none of it belongs to you. But you keep watching, scrolling, measuring, and every scroll slices your focus. Because comparison isn't inspiration, it's distraction. You don't rise by competing with them. You rise by beating who you were yesterday. Not louder, not faster, just cleaner. One choice, one rep, one clear hour with no looking sideways. Because growth, it doesn't need a crowd. It needs a mirror. And if that mirror shows a better version than the one from yesterday, you're already winning. No applause. Just advance. You've imagined it. The version of you that's sharp, focused, respected. But imagination doesn't build him. Discomfort does, sweat does, silence does, repetition does. You stop planning, you stop waiting for the perfect step, you just move. Fast? No. Flawless? Never. But forward? Every damn day. Because doing is messy, uneven, brutal. But dreaming is soft. And every second you stay dreaming, the real version of you gets delayed. You're not here to picture your life, you're here to sculpt it. With calluses, with cuts, with time. Because the man who shows up without needing it to feel good becomes the one they all feel, even before he speaks. Who you keep around matters. Energy is contagious, and so is weakness. You may be focused, but if they're drifting, you start to drift. You may be disciplined, but if they cut corners, you start slicing too. Because the people near you, they don't just influence you, they infect you. Their fears, their comfort, their hesitation, it leaks into your bloodstream until you're no longer moving with force, you're moving with permission. So you cut, quietly, sharply, without announcement, not to be better than them, but to be free from them. Because improvement isn't just what you do, it's what you stop allowing near you. Not everyone deserves front row seats to the version you're becoming. You made it through the day. That's not small, that's a brick. Laid on top of the last one. No applause, no spotlight, just a breath. Because momentum isn't loud, it's quiet, it's steady, it's sacred, and you protect it by respecting the steps no one sees. You mark the win, not with noise, but with presence. You breathe, you nod, you reset, and then you do it again. One more meal, one more workout, one more early wake-up that no one claps for. That's how progress stays alive. Not in the big moments, but in the repetition of a man who doesn't need reward to keep going. You tried quitting, you tried disappearing, you tried skipping just one day, but something in you refused. It wasn't hype, it wasn't pride, it was decision. And that version, the one who kept showing up, kept moving, kept bleeding quietly, he stayed through pain, through silence, through doubt, and now he doesn't need to talk, he doesn't need to win, he just needs to arrive. And when he does, they'll feel it. Not because he's louder, but because he's real.